they may have cost their team the championship and the football game, because I don't know if these all were starters or not, but I can tell you that we were finishers. We arrested them. Better, maybe you steal stuff in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania and get away with it. Hey, here's a note to people in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you hold kids accountable and responsible, and they know if they go in a store and steal, they're going to be held accountable, they don't do it. You didn't see 8 kids from Polk County in a store this weekend stealing, did ya? And there's 850,000 people in this county. Our crime in Polk County is a 53-year low. Ask and see if crime in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, is at a 53-year low. If you steal in Polk County, you go to jail. And I don't want to hear you whine and you're complaining and you're belly aching and all of that nonsense. If you don't steal, we're your new best friends. If you steal, we're your worst enemy. Merry Christmas.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
They went shopping for a free wardrobe, and they got one courtesy of the sheriff. Expectation, free sneakers. Reality, free silver bracelets.
Sheriff Grady Judd says this crime cost these kids not only their clean records and reputations, but also a championship football game. It's not a naughty or nice list. It's a list of stolen goods, 47 items to be exact, totaling more than $2,000. We're blurring the 8 suspects' faces because they're juveniles, the youngest being 14 years old. Sheriff Grady Judd says they Ubered to the Dick's Sporting Goods at Posner Park in Davenport on Saturday, and once inside, separated into 2 groups. They were all in town to compete in a championship football game.
It goes to show you can do the right thing and win championships. They did the right thing. You can do the wrong thing and end up in jail and let your football team down. So they'll never know whether or not they could have bested this really great team from Cocoa.
Judd says their coach tried to talk the deputies out of arresting them, but it didn't work. All of them were charged. The sheriff's message is this: cameras are everywhere, so think twice before doing something stupid. These kids were taken to the Juvenile Assessment Center, and as their case moves through the court system here, they will have to return.
Let's go over some of the things that were stolen. Do you remember? I have a list in case you don't have the list of things that were stolen.
I don't have the list with me, but I know that there were jackets, there were clothes, there were a lot of different things, and some of them were very expensive, but altogether they added up to be over $2,200.
Yeah, as I understand it, they like split up into 2 groups to come in and do this. So I'm seeing like Nike men's fleece hoodies, beanies, a watch hat, running jackets, wristband, a lip guard, football gloves, turf tape, a football shield, and just so much more. Again, like you said, that totaled up to, there's even underwear on the list here, that totaled up to over $2,000. So, you wonder why they did what they did. I would like to ask you, did it seem like the kids understood the weight of the situation?
And yes, they understood what they were doing. They were very well coordinated, and none of them wanted to talk to us. Well, we don't need you to talk to us. We've got it all on videotape. And that's what I don't understand in this day and age. Every place you go, you're on camera. So we've got great camera footage. We also have our deputies who caught them in the act, as well as store security. So the bottom line to it is, I want to know, where was the adult supervision? And then when adult supervision got there, the coach, then he tried to make excuses and talk them out of it, as opposed to holding them accountable. That's not adult leadership.
The sheriff says that the crime was obvious, but what really made him angry was the response from the coach. Instead of taking some accountability, he begged the sheriff to drop the charges. The teens were in town for a youth football competition. The coach begging Grady to drop the charges.
You're way off base here, buddy. Way off base. You're the ultimate loser.
So the sheriff says the players on that team learned the hard way. Smile You're on camera. This is surveillance video from a Dick's Sporting Goods in Davenport. All the angles law enforcement needed to call this a crime. The sheriff's office says the boys Ubered over to Dick's before the game with a plan. One teen buys something, then links up with his buddies, stuffing over $2,000 in merchandise into the bag. In total, 47 items. All 8 were caught on their way out.
If you come here to Polk County and steal, there's no notices to appear, there's no warnings, you're in handcuffs and taken to the county jail.
Now, Keith, being down just 8 players and just a few hours away from kickoff ended up being too much for the team. None of the kids made it out in time, and they lost the championship. I reached out to the team's coach for comment. He says he has nothing to say.
Well, I have something to say, and so does the sheriff.
First and foremost, I want to compliment the Cocoa Tigers. They won the championship after finishing the season 15-0. It was the Atlantic Coast Youth Athletics Association. And they beat the Thoroughbreds 26-6. I mean, they didn't just beat them, they ran over them. And the Thoroughbreds were from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, Cocoa Tigers, you did it the right way. That's teamwork with great young men doing the right thing.
You love to see that.
Now I want to introduce you to 8 of the Thoroughbreds. And here they are.
Ooh.
You look at the Thoroughbreds and you find out, what were they doing? What were they doing on Saturday morning? Well, let me tell you what they were doing. They Ubered from where they were staying down to the Dick's Sporting Good in Posner Park. Not only did they Uber down there to shop, they had no intentions of paying for their product. So they came into the store in 2 groups, and they began to systematically product. And that's exactly what they did. They stole, and they stole, and they stole, and they stole, and they stole. Yeah, how do you like that? This is everything that they. And guess what? As we've said before, you can't go any place, anytime that you're not on a camera. So Dick's Sporting Goods knows that they're stealing because they're watching this systematic, organized theft ring called a football team.
Oh.
Now, not only did they steal 47 items, I want to introduce you to their coach. His name's Raynon Bynes, B-Y-N-E-S. So when we notify the coach who is responsible for them, you would think he would be interested in holding them accountable and responsible. Instead, he goes to the deputies and begs them not to take these young men into custody. Oh, don't arrest them. Drop the charges. Let them go. And then when we said no, then they go to Dick's Sporting Goods, to the manager, and said, oh, don't charge them. Don't charge them. They were not taking bubble gum, one piece to chew. They over $2,000 worth of products, over 47 different products. And then when it was evident that they were going to be, then the coach says, don't you guys have anything better to do? What are all these deputies doing here? Don't you have anything better to do than these kids?
The coach really said, don't you guys have anything better to do than your actual job? Like, what? If you don't want the sheriff to be doing his job, then you got to be doing your job and watch the team.
Listen, I don't know how you do things in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but in Polk County, Florida, we'd lock you up for stealing, for being a thief. So at the end of the day, the message is clear, not just in this Christmas season, but anytime. All of these stores have cameras, and we have relationships with all of these stores. If you come here to Polk County and steal, There's no notices to appear. There's no warnings. You're in handcuffs and taken to the county jail or taken to lockup, period.
Oh.
You don't want to go to jail? You don't want to go to lockup? Don't steal. We didn't choose to arrest you. You chose to be arrested.
Oh.
And that's the way it is.
Oh.
And that's the bottom line.
Oh my gosh. This guy is brutal. Oh. This is like accidental stand-up comedy.
And for the coach, you're way off base here, buddy. Way off base. You're the ultimate. If you've been coaching these kids upright, if you knew where they were, if you didn't allow them to Uber away, they would have played in a ball game Saturday night. So you have a compare and contrast here. Let me tell you, this is the heroes. This is the coach and the team that did it right. And I'm so proud of them. And I'm proud of their 15-0 season. That's a great group of young men there. Is there any questions?
Sharon, is this something you see a lot this time of year?
Do you know we see theft go up around the Christmas times for obvious reasons? There's a lot of people that need product for gifts in small order. I am hugely frustrated with this. The coaching, the supervision wasn't there, or these kids wouldn't have been running wild. These kids knew better.
You can use my Buy Me a Coffee link to buy Leroy a dog treat. Leroy, stop that. You're so cute. Oh, I love you. I love you. You guys steal the show. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Red Dawn Daily with your host, me, Dawn Marie, and sometimes Leroy. Leroy, you're not bored, are you? Leroy, did you know that 9 out of 10 people only watch to see you? Yeah. I'm just kind of here holding space for you. It's true. It's true. Leroy, you're so much fun. You're way more fun than any puppet. Right, Leroy?